Greetings, this is Michael W. Ford. It's been since 2020 since I've done a video. I apologize for that. I am back. I wanted to take some time to sharpen some specific points that I've been working on, a series of workings, and also making these videos more useful to the person who watches them. That's you. So they're going to continue to improve and focus, and I'm going to do them with more regularity. Today's and the first video of the year is focused on the tarot from a Luciferian perspective. Now, back in 2007 and through 2006, I developed, along with an artist named Nico Klaus, the Luciferian Tarot. It's the first ever left-hand path Luciferian full deck professionally published. And we issued a number of these in 2007, and they sold out a few years ago. But this deck, known as the Luciferian Tarot, has a lot of strong symbolism, especially with the Major Arcana. And if it's ever republished, the Major Arcana will stay, and the cards that I constructed on my half for all the cups, the pentacles, etc., will be re-envisioned by another artist. However, the Major Arcana are stellar and still significant in the symbolism that they embody. Now, you don't have to use the Luciferian Tarot. You can use any tarot deck you wish to use in divination or specific workings. Now, there are a couple things you can do with tarot. Tarot is indeed for divination, intuition, seeking self-exploration, or answering. If you're doing it professionally, it's to interpret the energies and how the cards manifest themselves for your client. However, Luciferians are able, for whatever purpose they're using the tarot, to use different decks. One of the techniques that I read and learned from the writings of Aleister Crowley's, one of his heirs, John Whiteside Parsons, was his correspondence to his wife, the artist and famous witch woman, Marjorie Cameron Parsons. And his descriptions were, of course, using the tarot, the Major Arcana, in normal ways, but also in the way of projecting astrally, astral projection, meditation working. So I took that in the 90s and ran with it in manifesting the Luciferian kind of formulation of the current, the description of the current. Using the tarot can be very useful this way. Now, I want to say that the Luciferian Tarot, as it is, has strong demonic symbolism. It is adversarial, but it's a balanced, just like Luciferian philosophy and magic, it's balanced. And it's balanced in the way that even though it's confrontational, dark imagery, it is not all it's not destructive, and it's balanced between destroying and creating. So it reflects mirrors within yourself of creation and destruction. So understand that it's not a deck which will go out of its way to harm you, destroy you, etc. Only to challenge and motivate. If you look at this card, this is the Hermit, and make sure I can show that properly. The Hermit shows a Watcher type angel and a shadow, a demonic shadow, which is the reflection of Lucifer, and it represents hidden internal knowledge, the ability of inner strength, intuition, etc. So if you were to compare these to the normal symbolism of a tarot deck, you would find that. But where it departs is that if one is seeking to work with the hermit in an astral projection sense, you would visualize the aspect of Lucifer, isolation, self-imposed isolation, and the shadow, the demonic shadow, all a part of the self, all a part reflecting in your inner landscape, if you will. So, in visualizing those and moving towards those, you can create and astrally project into a kind of dreamscape, a landscape of your own mind. It won't be like this, it won't be identical to this. It's not like you're jumping in that, but that symbolism will add to your subconscious and open those gates accordingly. Another one is the Queen of Wands. This is Lilith the Younger, the bride of Asmodeus in our clepothic workings within Luciferianism. And Lilith the Younger represents the black flame, but also the devouring flame, the flame of passion. All of these things relating to Kundalini, or the fire serpent. And so projecting into this would be a chaos sphere invoking of that primal desire within yourself. And your visualizations of Lilith the Younger would probably be much different in an astral sense. The star represents the daemon and adversary in a unity of sorts, a communion. And you see a lot of the symbolism from my work Liber HVHI. The 5 points have a Manichaean origin, reflecting the adversary, Ahriman, or the one they call Satan. And you have the Knight of Wands, and this symbolism represents the power reflected from the imagery of Samael, or Samael, the great seraphic archdemon, the angel of poison, death, but also the liberator, the great inspiration, the bringer of the black flame, as the father of Cain in this mythology. You see the Gnostic Yaldabaoth, the lion-headed serpent. Samael is the fiery agent, the serpent angel, also having death-like aspects in the astral form and body of his gray corpse-like body, and the moon, the crescent moon stained in blood, holding the wand. All of these can be projected upon. You have the adversary here in the satanic dragon as the Ace of Wands, relating to the black flame in a primal sense, a destructive sense, a sense that is power outside of the casual aspect of our minds, the fire that drives us from within. Ace of Swords with Lucifer, the light bringer. Here's Lucifer in the manifest as the sun, similar to the aspect of the bringer of light in both a destructive and creative sense. Initiation in Luciferian witchcraft path of the Hanged Man, that is Cain destroying Abel to enhance his daemon and destroy that aspect of his self, the common sleeping self. And Shemyaza, the Knight of Pentacles, the Watcher, who teaches of witchcraft, herbal lore, etc. One can use even the Thoth deck, which was the deck that I primarily used in the 90s when there was no left-hand path Luciferian type cards to be used. The Ace of Wands, for me, this fire is destructive, it's creative, it represents the black flame, but all these things are within us. You see the Queen of Swords. Projection can be done on all levels with tarot cards, depending on how you approach them. Another deck that I'm particularly fond of right now is the Occult Tarot. We actually included this in the Luciferian Apotheca as a deck that we favor because it has a very simplistic approach. It utilizes a lot of the standard demonic forms, but also the Goetia, the 72 spirits of the Goetia. And it has these type of control cards where you would take a card, and depending on the spirit that you're invoking, okay, you would recite the invocation, which is in the Occult Tarot booklet by Travis McHenry. And it's very simplified invocation to where you recite it, you impart will, desire, belief, and I'm saying that, doesn't say that in there. But then the gates are open to where you can do communication and focusing workings with specific goetic demons if you so desire, including the ruling powers that are outside of the Goetia, which include Azazel, Lucifuge. These are related to like the magician for Baphomet, the moon for Beelzebub, Lucifer for death, which reflects more or less Lucifer as in its satanic destructive aspect, liberating the spirit from the traps of the material world in some senses. More of a Luciferian philosophy that goes into a darker area. It's not for everyone. The devil, which is the adversary Moloch. Moloch is depicted commonly as this a fire-eating demon that consumes youth, but it's actually more or less been revealed to be a chthonic, death-like deity in which passing through the fire is a kind of baptism, if you will, in the ancient Near East. Then you have Azazel for the Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Lucifuge, Rolfcow, etc. So that's how tarot can be used, and whether it's for no matter what deck you use, it should be one you're in tune with, comfortable with, and able to have a deep connection with. And sometimes that takes time, and some people use different decks and ones, and I actually collect ones that interest me, and I commonly work with, of course, the Luciferian Tarot. However, there are so many that can be used from a Luciferian perspective, and never to take advice and, oh, I should do this. Your intuition, part of the daemon, part of the knowledge and conversation of the true will, and enhancing the daemon in initiatory magic, is to intuitively understand who you are in the direction. And this should only be as guidance, never to rule over you or command. Don't let yourself be fooled by your own superstitions. Master those and make them work for you. Anyway, I want to thank you for taking the time. Subscribe, like, and spread forward. And also let me know what you would like to see concerning Luciferian magic and all of those things associated with. So have a great evening. Thank you very much.